If you could travel back 4 billion years, you would not recognize Earth, a violent, burning world. The sky choked with volcanic ash, oceans unstable, the surface still bleeding heat, and a question inevitably arises. Was Earth closer to the sun back then? Our instincts tell us hotter means closer to the sun, more primitive means nearer to the center. But the universe has never followed human intuition. Earth's distance from the sun is not something that drifts freely with time. From the earliest days of the solar system, planetary orbits were locked in by gravity. Without massive disturbances, those paths remain remarkably stable. In other words, prehistoric Earth orbited almost exactly where it does today. If Earth wasn't closer to the sun, why was early Earth so hot? The answer is not Earth, it is the sun. The young sun was actually about 25 to 30% dimmer than it is today. Not calm, not stable, but still learning how to burn. The heat of prehistoric Earth came from within, energy from violent collisions, constant volcanic eruptions, and an unstable crust releasing internal heat. This was not heat from the sky. It was the afterglow of Earth's own formation. Here lies a cosmic paradox. A dimmer sun, yet Earth did not freeze. This mystery is known as the faint young sun paradox. The solution lies in the atmosphere, thick carbon dioxide, methane, and a powerful greenhouse effect. Earth kept itself warm, so was prehistoric Earth closer to the sun? No, but it was closer to chaos, closer to instability, closer to the thin line between destruction and creation. This was not a planet saved by the sun, it was a world surviving its own birth. Today you stand on Earth, orbiting the same sun, along nearly the same path. What changed was not the distance, but time, and the moment life finally emerged. In the universe, nothing is truly still. The sun slowly loses mass. Stellar winds carry energy into deep space. In theory, as the sun becomes lighter, planetary orbits do expand outward. But this change occurs over billions of years, so small it is nearly unnoticeable. From the age of dinosaurs to today, Earth's shift is smaller than the width of a human hair. Imagine a universe that never existed. If prehistoric Earth had been even slightly closer to the sun, a difference of just 5% would have rewritten everything. Oceans would not last, water vapor would escape into space, Earth would become another Venus, life would never have had a chance. We often believe habitability depends on distance from the sun, but distance was never the true key. Balance was. Atmospheric thickness, magnetic protection, tectonic recycling, and time itself. Earth was not simply in the right place, it managed to hold itself together. When we ask, was prehistoric Earth closer to the sun? What we truly mean is, how did such a hostile world become this one? The answer is not distance. It is that Earth learned to cool, learned to stabilize, learned to wait for life. The air you breathe was born from prehistoric volcanoes. The rocks beneath your feet formed when Earth was still burning. Your distance from prehistoric Earth is not space, it is time. Earth was never closer to the sun, but it came close to destruction. Close to a future where life never existed, and you are standing on the version that survived. The birth of the solar system was not an orderly arrangement. It was a chaotic disk. Dust, gas, shattered rock pulling, colliding, consuming one another. In that era, planetary positions did briefly shift, but that was before birth, not part of Earth's living history. If in that chaos, Earth had moved slightly slower or slightly faster, it could have been thrown outward, becoming a frozen world, or pulled inward, turning into a Venus of endless clouds. Earth's existence was never guaranteed. It was a successful survival. The prehistoric sky looked different. No blue, no white clouds, only heavy haze, volcanic gases, and air without oxygen. That sky made Earth appear closer to the sun, but it was only an illusion. Humans judge distance by sight, bright means close, dim means far. But in the universe, brightness and distance are not the same thing. Prehistoric Earth looked hotter, not because it was closer to the sun, but because it had not yet learned to cool. Earth's distance from the sun barely changed, but its distance from its own past grew immense. Magma became rock, poison became air, barren land became ecosystems. The orbit did not change the world, time did. When you ask, was prehistoric Earth closer to the sun? What you are really asking is, did this world almost fail to exist? The answer is yes, and more than once. Earth does not exist because its distance was perfect. It exists because it held stability inside chaos. The planet beneath your feet did not move. The storms of the universe did, and Earth endured. Earth's orbit is a silent path. It leaves no mark, emits no light, yet persists for billions of years. There was no era when it moved closer to the sun, no era when it chose to drift away. Stability itself is a form of power. Earth does not remember how hot it once was, or how close it came to collapse. Planets have no memory, only outcomes. The existence of life means every failed version is already gone. We believe prehistoric Earth was closer to the sun because we mistake danger for distance. Heat, volcanoes, toxic air, an atmosphere we could not breathe. These were not signs of proximity. They were signs that Earth was not yet ready for life. What prehistoric Earth truly approached was not the sun. It was the boundary. On the other side of that line, there were no oceans, no stable atmosphere, no future. Earth stood at that edge and did not cross. Earth today appears so normal that we forget normality itself is extraordinarily rare. Most planets either burn or freeze. Stability is a privilege of survivors. Was prehistoric Earth closer to the sun? The question itself is a wrong answer. Because the real question was never about distance, it is this: why did Earth not fail? Earth did not move, it survived. In a universe full of failed planets, that alone is a miracle. When all questions are answered, time begins to slow. Earth no longer changes violently. Its orbit fades from discussion. Its temperature stabilizes. Not because the universe grew kind, but because Earth learned how to sustain itself. Stability does not mean stillness. Plates continue to move. Oceans continue to circulate. The magnetic field still deflects cosmic winds. Earth never stopped. It simply stopped collapsing. If you truly stood on prehistoric Earth, you would not ask about distance. You would ask, how long can I survive? The air would burn your lungs. The sky would not answer your breath. The surface was not made for you. It was not a planet waiting for humans. It was a planet learning how not to destroy itself. In Earth's entire story, distance was never the protagonist. The protagonists were accumulated time, avoided failures, and disasters that never happened. Earth was not chosen. It simply was never eliminated. The layers beneath your feet do not record distance. They record cooling, sedimentation, compression. No layer ever reads, "This place was once closer to the sun," because it never was. If you look back at Earth from space, you see no sign of movement. You see a planet that continues to exist. As stars brighten, as the universe expands, as time flows, it remains. That alone is the answer. Prehistoric Earth was not closer to the sun, but it was very close to failure. And you are living inside the version that succeeded. When the image stops changing, when the music gradually fades away, only a lonely planet remains, spinning in the darkness. It is then that you realize the story of the Earth was never meant to be watched. The existence of the Earth is far longer than our records. No images, no sounds, no observers. Prehistoric Earth did not need to prove that it once existed. It simply exists. On such a timescale, distance loses its meaning. 100 million kilometers or 100,000,001 kilometers become indistinguishable. What matters is that the orbit remains stable. The stars remain stable. The planets do not give up. Most worlds in the universe will never have names. They fail too quickly, too quietly. They leave no stories behind. Earth is remembered not because it is special. It is remembered because it is still here. Perhaps one day the Earth will really move farther from the sun, when the sun becomes a red giant, when the inner worlds are swallowed, when the orbits are no longer safe. But that is not prehistory. That is the future, and on that day there will be no life to witness it all. Your existence is almost negligible, but the orbit you stand on has lasted for 4.5 billion years. You are not the protagonist of this story. You are just a brief listener of it. So was the prehistoric Earth closer to the sun? This question itself slowly melts away into silence. What remains is a planet that has never moved. If you are still here, then you understand. Some answers are not meant to be remembered. They are meant to be felt.